This is a question relating to percentage, right? So maybe percentage gain or loss, or maybe your income at the end of the year. So let's have a look at the question and how to go about it. From the question, we are told that a man spends 109, right? So 109 of his monthly salary on rent, right? So that is what we are given. Now, the trick to solve a mathematics questions here is that you must always understand that if you read one sentence, right? So make sure that you put down what it means. Is that okay? So gradually you arrive at the final answer. And then two, always make sure that you involve yourself in what in the problem that you are solving. So for instance, this question says a man spent 109 of his monthly salary on rent. So meaning you can replace that man in the sentence by you, right? So that you can see exactly what is happening. So the sentence goes like this: you spend what 109 of what your monthly salary on rent. Is that okay? So of course you don't know your monthly salary, right? So in mathematics, this is how it goes. So if you don't know something that has been given to you, you always represent that by a variable of your choice, right? So the common letter that mathematician uses is the letter X. So here we can say that let our X be what the monthly salary, right? The monthly what salary. Is that okay? Because we don't know this figure, right? So the X is going to be what the monthly salary. Now the question says you spend, right? So the man spends 109 of his monthly salary on rent. So amount spent what on, or maybe let's say amount spent, yeah, on what on rent, right? So amount spent on rent, that is going to be now. Let's get back to it. Assuming you gain, let's say, $500 a month, and then you spend 109 of this amount here. So it means that you're having 109 multiplied by what 500, right? So whatever you get is the amount that you spend what on rent. Is that okay? So okay, perfectly. Now, since we don't know the value or the amount of money we gain at a monthly or our salary here, then what are we are going to do here? So this is just going to be 109 multiplied by what the x, right? So this is very very simple in the street first. So this is going to be 109x. Right? We are just taking the multiplication out because this one is going to multiply the x here, right? Okay, perfect. Now let's proceed. This is how gradually you solve almost all the questions given to you in mathematics. If you are enjoying this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Now the second part says that 1 on 2 on food, right? So I guess you can easily write that expression down. Okay, perfect. So amount spent on what on amount spent, right? So amount spent, let's bring the spent here. Spent on what on food. So on food here is going to be 1 on 2 x, right? So 1 on 2, and then finally we have the clothes and all the others, which is 1 on 4, right? So for clothes and what and others here, and others can be anything, right? So this thing can be anything. That is going to be 1 on 4 on x. Is that okay? Okay, now this is what you are giving. These are the informations that are going, and then he has what 19,500 left. So 19,500. This thing can be in your own currency. So assuming amount left here is going to be what is going to be amount left, right? So amount left here is going to be let's say dollars, so $19,500, so 19,000. This can be equivalent to what in your currency. Now the question what they're asking us to find is how much does he earn per month, right? So his monthly, or maybe your salary at the end of what every month is exactly what you. Once you're able to gather all the informations like this, you are free to go. Is that okay? You are free to go. Now let's see how to proceed from this point. Now, to break this information down a little bit from what example I gave earlier on, let's say you gain 500, assuming you gain $500, and then you spend 1 on 9 of the $500 on what on rent and so on and so forth. You can see that any amount that you are spending is coming out of this what $500. Is that okay? So let's say you spend assuming you spend $200 on rent, let's say $50 on anything, maybe food, or maybe let's say $100 on transport, and then maybe here we are going to left with an amount of what $150. Okay, you consider if you sum everything together here, you should have your what your $500, right? So if you add everything, this plus this one will give me 250, and then this plus this one also will 250, making what a $500. Is that okay? So all the expenses that you made here, if you sum all together, you should have what your total salary at the end of what the year, right? Or maybe at the end of the month. Okay, now that is the idea that we are going to use here. So these are the expenses that we made per month. So we spend this in nine on what? 1 on 9 of the X here on rent, and then we also spend 1 on 2 of X here, which is the salary here on what? On food, and then finally we had 1 on 4 of the X, and then we are told that this is what is left, right? So we are left with $9,500. So you just need to sum everything here, sum this one, sum it all together plus this one, and then equate it to your monthly salary. What is your monthly salary? Is the X that you use to represent your monthly salary. Is that okay? So this is very simple and straightforward, right? Okay. So here straightforward, you can see that we have what 1 on 9x plus what 1 on 2x here plus what 1 on 4x here plus, don't forget this one, this is what is left, right? So you have what 19,500 is equal to what is equal to the X. So because at the beginning here we said that let X be what the monthly salary, so everything that's what your expenses, right? So this is what you spend what in the month, and then everything must be equal to what your total salary, which is what the X. Is that okay? Okay, now if you have the idea on how to deal with or how to add what a fraction, should be something very simple. So here's the idea. If you have 1 on 2 plus what 1 on 3, what do? You find the least common multiple out of this. Alright. We have a video on the channel. If you don't know how to deal with this, you may consider checking it out. Okay. Now here you are going to find the least common multiple among the 9, 2, and then 4. Right? So once you have that, then you take it out. Okay, now the least common multiple out of this thing is going to be 36, right? So if you want to know how to, if you don't know how to find this thing, just comment in the comment section below for help, right? Okay, at this point we do the least common multiple here. Since this involves what an equal to sign here, we are going to multiply everybody here by what the 36, right? So 36, so you have the 36 here multiplied by 1 on 9x plus what 36 multiplied by this guy 1 on 2x here, and then plus what 36 multiplied by what 1 on 4x, and then you have plus what 36 multiplied by this what 19,500, right? So 19,500, everything equal to. Let's rewrite this thing. So this is what we had after multiplying everything by what 36. The idea here is to bring this fraction down to something linear. So what I mean by that is that we have this 36 here divided by 9, right? So this guy divided by this one, that should just be 4x. We are just going to left it to 4x. So 36 on 9 will give us 4x plus so this one on this one will be 16, right? So maybe I guess you should pause the video and continue from here. So this is what I had. Here was 18, right? So pay a close attention to some simple minor mistake, right? So take your time. Nobody is arresting you for doing or maybe being in hurry, right? Just make sure that if it is an examination, you are working within what time. Okay. Now that we have something that goes like this, this is very easy to proceed, right? You can see the X here. You can see the X here, you can see the X everywhere. So this is what I mean. X is here, X is here, X is here, X is also. So the key here is to bring all the X to one side, right? So before that, let's sum everything together. If you sum everything together on this side of the equation, you should have, that is what the 4 plus or 18 plus 19, that's going to be 31. All right, so 31x here, right? So plus or 702 0 here, also equal to 360, right? So we are going to subtract 31x or minus 31x here. We are subtracting this thing from both sides of the equation, right? So plus or 7, whichever way you want to solve this thing is solely accepted, right? So the most important thing that we are arriving at the same answer, so that this one goes away, right? So here we are going to left it 70200 here, and then that is equal to this guy minus this, and that you should have of 5x. Remember what we are looking for. So here's the idea: if you have something like 2x, that is equal to 4. For you to find the values of the x, you are going to divide everywhere by 2, right? So you had the x to be equal to 4 and 2, that is equal to 2, right? So that is the idea here. So we are going to divide here on by 5, and then divide here by 5. Boom, then we are left with our x. This x, remember what to say, this is your salary, right? So your salary per month, right? So any value of this or x here is going to be your salary. What do you think? Maybe comment in the comment section below the values of the x after doing this calculation. So you have $702,000 divided by 5. So what is your answer? Let me hear from you in the comment section below. Okay, once again, if you want to see anything, or if you are finding any difficulties on our percentage, or maybe any topic that you want to see, make sure that you comment in the comment section below for help. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this.